Alright, everybody, welcome back to episode 3 of Final Fantasy 13. Where we last left off, I don't even remember where we last left off. This has been a hell of an episode to record. Literally, I finished recording it and noticed that my audio was not there, so we are doing our first ever voiceover. I don't know what I'm doing at all here, so we're going to kind of wing it. But apparently we are fighting some stuff with a hand grenade. We're going to use auto battle here because we are too lazy to actually push the attack button. And we're just going to knock all four of these guys out. God, I feel so weird doing this, but you know what? I don't care right now. By the way, I hope everything is going to be synced properly and I have all my audio levels decent. This has been interesting. This has been really interesting, actually. It's been a mess to make a series on. I'll be honest with everybody here. It has been a complete and total mess. What was it? Episode 1, first I didn't have the in-game cutscene audio going. Episode 2, I had everything relatively fixed, and then we came across a save issue. Episode 3, I lost all my audio. I wasn't even doing audio. So I was literally watching this. Battle time. Did we do good this battle? 5 stars. It's good to see. We actually got a 4-star rating in one of these fights. Kind of made me sad. Should be coming up in like 5-10 minutes, I'd say. But yeah, this is kind of different. It's really different, honestly. I feel weird as fuck doing it. But yeah, okay, I remember what I said here. Guys, any Final Fantasy game you play, make sure to look around every corner. In fact, when you get to a new area, look behind you. Chances are there's going to be an item there.
I want every weapon ready to fire. Stay sharp.
Alright, now we are about to try to ambush these guys to take their hover bikes. I don't know if it's really a hover bike, but you know what? That is what I'm calling it. You might hear me say this feels weird a lot because this really feels weird. Really feels weird doing voiceovers. Alright, we're facing a Psycom Enforcer, Psycom Enforcer A, B, and I assume C somewhere in there. Thing is, why are there 3 Psycom Enforcers and 2 bikes? Hey, what about your 3rd bike back there? I see him, never mind. Other than all these issues we're having, I hope everybody's enjoying this series. I do have one slight issue.
That's a sad sound.
I do have one slight issue going on right now with OBS. It's saying it's recording my voice, but it's not. So we'll have to fix that. But shouldn't have been the cutscene.
Okay. Hey, Godot.
Yeah?
If you don't know who you gotta save, you just protect them all,
Exactly,
right?
protect them all.
Something on your mind? You got plenty of time for thinking on the way, hero.
Alright.
Yeah.
I really feel like I might be getting too loud sometimes here. I do apologize if that is the case. I tried to put a noise gate on this and it is not working. We'll eventually get everything figured out though. Sooner or later. I'm not gonna let technical issues on a game stop me from recording it. Alright. So I was kind of confused right here too. I honestly thought all these people died when the bridge collapsed. I don't know why I thought that, because we see, I don't want to say his name because we haven't got to the point where we revealed it yet, but we haven't seen the kid that's mom's died. And we have seen the kid that his mom died in with this group.
So, you really managed to use that thing?
It just didn't click that was actually that he was alive.
That's the one.
Didn't you have something to tell him?
Yeah.
For reading the notes, the data entries here, it seems that he's really upset with him and blames him for his mother's death, but looking at his behavior and everything right here, I don't know if that's really what it was. I also just realized this is the first episode that the Chocobo will not make an appearance in. I'm sorry.
The army's no match for Nora.
I meant the kids.
All accounted for.
Okay. Let's keep it that way, alright?
If you're hearing me yawn, I apologize. Calls on him as soon as, or calls out as soon as they're getting ready to take off. Great timing.
Vestige. Keep the kids out of trouble.
Keep the kids out of trouble. That's gonna happen.
Say hi to the missus for me. You go skirt chasing, I take care of the kids. Some husband.
Dinner's on me.
Better be home.
Oh, he's gonna bring KFC. It'll be alright.
When's the wedding, lover boy?
Well, don't worry. None of you are invited.
We're still going.
Hey, you serious? What about me?
Catch you later.
I do want to apologize for the audio quality here. I know it is not going to be great, and there is really nothing I can do in this situation, so I'm sorry, everybody. Hopefully I'll be able to tone it down some in editing. Alright, so what I'm doing right here is we're looking behind us, just making sure there is no treasure. And then I said, screw it, that's too far of a walk, and turned around to go to the save point to our right. And yes, as you can tell here, the game is actually saving. I may not be able to pick up my voice in recordings anymore, but hey, it is saving. And this is me getting mixed up in the menus, like, okay, what am I pushing? What am I pushing here? I wonder if we would not have talked to her right then, if we could have ran past that and there would have been an item.
You okay?
I want to tell him. It's just that.
Say, you know how to fly this?
I think he's lying his ass off here.
I think so.
All right.
And the reason I say he's lying his ass off here is you will find out in like 5 seconds.
That way.
Still say that's Naru. Yeah, that looks like a Naru to me.
If we go in there, that thing could. It could make us Lassie. This is. I don't think I can.
You can do it.
What are you two
Oh, they're busted.
Here we go.
And I was right. You can't fly that worth shit.
Get back here! You hear me? Hey!
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he hears you. He's just not listening.
The pulse Valsea. It held our future. And our fate.
Hey, Green Naru! Would you like to save your progress? Yes, of course. And this is where I screwed up. I should have done a separate save right there. So I could have just went back to that point, did a small voiceover for that, and continued on with replaying it up to the point this actually ends. Did I? No. In hindsight, I should have. I really should have.
Where is the... Oops. Well then...
Hey, well, at least they made it.
Guess it's just
Something I
us.
just noticed, the
What do you expect?
hand sign she's doing. I wonder if it's like something religious for her or
Know
something.
not to go near the foul sea. You become a pulse Lassie, and you're finished.
What do you mean, finished?
Haven't you heard? Miss...
Vanille. Okay.
Huh?
I keep calling her Vanilla, I think, in my original, before I had to do this voiceover, I kept calling her Vanilla. And his name is Hope. I kind of, talked over that. I apologize.
What
You
were
were
we
thinking you wanted to get revenge, apparently.
Well, since we're here, let's look around.
The Pulse Fal'Cie, Lower World Vestige.
Oh, check this out.
My question is,
Hey!
how did she see this?
Vanille, where are you?
Like, seriously, it's on the back side of that. How did she see this thing? Don't get me wrong, I'm happy she has a weapon. She needs a weapon. I love the weapon.
Well,
That's...
But how did she know that was there? And our first fight as these guys.
no daydreaming now.
Yeah, why would I daydream during a fight? Still love her weapon. I don't remember what it was. I played, I believe it was Bloodborne, and there was a weapon on that game. I believe it was a cane that kind of extended when you used it, like a chain or something, if I remember correctly, or a serrated blade. I can't remember. The point was, it extended. By the way, I don't know if you noticed there, we had something called B&W Outfitters.
Back to exploring.
We end up checking later on in the episode, but we end up finding out it is an accessory shop that currently has one accessory, the update or the Iron Bangle. And I started saying updated datapad entry because that popped up on the screen. I believe I'm about to pull it up if I remember correctly.
What am I doing here?
Apparently not. We're running around looking for treasure and saving. Okay. So we're gonna quickly save right now. Up to 50 minutes played. I'm gonna have to start doing backup saves too. Just in case something like this happens where my voice doesn't get recorded again somehow. That way we can redo everything the proper way. Alright, 30 gil, not too bad from a little thing. That's just our crash ship. But I'm remembering right here, I'm wondering where we came in at. I realize this is an enclosed room, unless we came from up there. Or right here, I'm like, oh, I think we came from down there.
What are we supposed to get?
So that's what I ended up deciding on, is we ended up coming from the bottom to up here. If that's right, who knows, but we'll see. And we get onto our second fight of the area. I believe we just quickly auto-battle this. We may actually see what attack she has, but all she has is a basic attack. She has no special, like Blitz or Pain Grenade or anything like that. But we do get to our first new encounter of the episode right after this, which will be these little Scandroid things to the left.
This place was supposed to be empty.
I forget what they're called. Scandroids? Is that what they're called, actually? Scandroid. Yep. These words, Scandroid A, B, and I assume C. Yep, C. Extremely low health, though, so not a big deal. Alright, 5 stars. And, Deceptol. So I ended up seeing what Deceptol was later on in this episode, as you will see, but I'm gonna go ahead and say what it is. What it is an item that makes it harder for enemies to detect, or makes it harder for enemies to detect, and it pretty much makes their view range narrower, by my understanding, and allows you to get preemptive strikes. Preemptive strike happens when you interact with the enemy or walk upon the enemy before they see you. And if you successfully can do a preemptive strike, your stagger meter will start basically full. So could be handy on tough encounters, possibly mini bosses. Highly doubt it'd work on bosses because normally they're triggered by a cutscene, I would assume anyway. bad. 5 stars. I thought this was the one where I got 4. We got 2 wicked fames out of that, though. And now we are accessing the data log and checking the new stuff. We have 2 new entries into this one. Snow still cannot shake his feelings of guilt, despite his efforts to protect the purged deportees from the sinking forces many have fallen. The death of the woman in particular haunts his thoughts, and the mother, fighting for the sake of her son who gave her life to save Snow. In the moments before her death, the woman begged the leader of Nora to take care of her child, but slipped from Snow's grasp without revealing the boy's identity. With Gnolt's help, Snow breaks out of his depression. He figures that if he just goes ahead and protects everyone, then the woman's son will be saved as well. After checking to see if the children are safe, Snow leaves the winning battle to his fellow Nora members and sets off with his new determination towards the vestige. His fiancée is still being held captive by the Pulse Fal'Cie. A boy watches him leave, eyes filled with rage and loathing. To his grief-stricken mind, Snow is responsible for his mother's death. Fates intertwined. For centuries, a Pulse Fal'Cie has slumbered undisturbed on the outskirts of Cocoon City. On the day the lower world entity is finally discovered, Cocoon's peaceful society is plunged into chaos. The government judges the city's inhabitants to have been tainted by their unwelcome guest, and begins a merciless campaign to expose both Fal'Cie and the corrupted citizens from the face of Cocoon. Instead of the face exile they were led to expect, the civilians faced extermination at the hands of the soldiers. The people attempt to fight back, but are hopelessly outmatched by the military. Lightning cuts their way through the battlefield, doggedly followed by the desperate Saz. Snow, meanwhile, seeks to rescue his fiancée, and a boy, spurred on by the dreams of revenge, pursues Snow with the help of an unusual young lady. Though driven by separate goals, their paths all lead to the same end, the Pulse Fal'Cie. Alright, Chapter 2, In Pursuit of Snow. Hope has fallen into panic. In his single-minded pursuit of Snow, he has rushed into the lair of a Fal'Cie and is only now recalling the terrible nature of the being that lurks within. The Pulse entity could use its power to curse them, to turn them into l'Cie. Pulse l'Cie are the doomed servants of Fal'Cie who created them, despised and feared among the people of Cocoon. Eventually it's going to switch over to the next. Come on. Hope's companion, Vanille, seems unconcerned by this dreadful possibility. Being used by her indomitable cheerfulness, he nervously follows her in search of Snow. It was Snow who convinced his mother to fight. It was Snow who she was protecting when she died. And it was Snow who must be made to pay. So he's still off on a pursuit of revenge, I guess is what I'm trying to say. History and myth, we now have Pulse l'Cie. The beings known as Fal'Cie possess the power to enthrall willing human instruments, compelling the victims to serve their will. These individuals, known as the l'Cie, are marked with indelible brands. They gain the gift of magic, but also bear the burden of completing a task known as a focus for their Fal'Cie master. Pulse l'Cie, tools of the Fal'Cie from the world below, are considered dangerous enemies of Cocoon society, as there exists no means of removing the l'Cie brand and the curse thereby imposed. Pulse l'Cie are hunted relentlessly. I must have been reading a lot slower during my first go through with this. Alright, we have locales now, which is Vestige Pulse Vestiges. Fal'Cie sculpted Cocoon in antiquity, using resources harvested from the world below. When Cocoon's shell was fractured in the war, they repaired it with the raw materials again gathered from Pulse. Buildings chief among them. Remnants of these structures, termed vestiges, can be found throughout Cocoon today. The centuries-old vestige outside of Bodum was believed to be nothing more than a harmless curiosity. The discovery of a Pulse Fal'Cie inside its walls proved this false. However, leading to the detainment and subsequent purging of countless citizens whose only crime was being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Alright, go to the next one. How about now go to the next one? There we go. Alright, in the intel list, I'm just seeing what all new enemies we encountered. We have the Zerg droids, like Scan droid, which has relatively low HP, stagger of 130. Then we have guess that's it for that part. I thought there was a few more to read, but I think it's after the next scene. Okay, let's talk about the preemptive strikes. I could read all this, but I gave a rough, extremely rough breakdown a little while ago, so I'm not going to go read all that again, sadly. You're more than happy to read it right now, though. Alright, it should be about to be on page 3 and be past this. So I was actually reading every word for y'all like I normally do. But I gave you a quick rundown on the preemptive strikes and everything probably like 5-10 minutes ago, so I really don't want to go through everything again. It's pretty much saying right here that these guys has a narrow field of vision to test out your preemptive strike on. You guys somehow butchered, as you can see right here. I ran right in front of them.
No daydreaming now.
Alright, but we take all these out, I believe actually in our first combo here.
Take this.
Yep. And they're taken care of. Alright, torn leather. I did not check to see what the torn leather did. So, that one's beyond me. We ended up getting the iron bangle. I believe we equip onto her right now. That's me trying to see what the Deceptal Soul is. Then I'm like, oh, we got some new stuff here, like Power Band and a few things. Chipped Fang. That's when I saw the B&W Outfitters. We read an electronic pass granting access to B&W Outfitters. So pretty much right then is when I discovered we have a new shop. Just clearing that off the menu. And now we're equipping the Iron Bangle to her. And off we go. Alright, we have another fight. I believe it's going to be the last fight until we switch to snow.
No daydreaming now.
Might take a little while, but we'll get it done. Who am I kidding? This ain't going to take a while at all. We're going to be done in like, what, 15 seconds maybe? If that.
And done.
And I'm pretty sure Vanille, her weapon does a higher stagger. I'm kind of watching it right now in the playback as I'm doing the voiceover for this, but I believe it's a higher stagger. Yeah, yes, I agree, Vanille. So this is where we got the 4 stars, and I don't know how we got 4 stars from that fight. I'm not really complaining, but wish I knew what I did wrong.
Aren't you scared?
Not so much.
Yeah, she's not worried about anything.
You really don't get it.
Pulse, Falsey, and Lissy are bad news. That's why Cocoon kicked them out. Live too close to the Falsey, one-way ticket to Pulse. That's the purge in a nutshell.
If they catch us here, they'll purge us too. And
What's
then...
your problem?
What's my... Pulse is hell on Earth.
I feel like she knows something that we don't.
We'll be okay. Calm down.
Just too cheerful.
Get off.
And not paranoid about being in this? When it's supposed to mind control you?
Can you hear me? Where are you?
And that is Snow screaming for Sarah.
Don't worry, Sarah. Your hero is on his way.
So why is Sarah inside the vestige? That's what I want to know. And I wonder what that's for too. But why is she in the vestige? Alright, we're getting our item here, but I'm stopping here and wondering what this is. I'm like, is that a ship? Is that a sword? What is this thing? Kind of reminds me of the pod that, was it Genova? Sephiroth? Yeah, Genova was in from Final Fantasy VII. It's probably me just remembering it correctly. I know it's not the pod. Different Final Fantasy world and everything. But it's what it reminds me of. So now we're checking out the shop, seeing what new items we have. We check Unicorn Mart just in case, but no, we just have the Phoenix down and potions still. So we go to B&W Outfitters and we find out just the accessory shop, it only has... Oh, we're rating this at the bottom. B&W gear to protect you. Trek through the lowlands is a walk in the park. Why not leave the hustle and bustle behind? Return to nature. To be just the vacation you need. Your soul needs. So we can look in here and we're like, oh, it's an accessory shop with iron mangles. Cool. And literally, that's it. We just got out. But, we got some new stuff in our data log, it looks like. Some new events on Chapter 2, where men fear to tread. To the citizens of Cocoon, the lower world of Pulse is a hell rife with unknown terrors, and the recently discovered Pulse Fal'Cie is an invader from that hell. In an effort to quell the growing panic in the wake of the entity's discovery, the Sanctum initiates an extreme measure known as the Purge. Under this initiative, not only is the Fal'Cie to be cast out of Cocoon, but all of the civilians living nearby as well. Any person coming into contact with the lower world being's foul energies could already be corrupted, and no potential enemies of Cocoon can be allowed to remain. The ensuring deportation claims the lives of countless civilians, Hope's mother among them. After witnessing her death and chasing Snow into the vestige in a blind rage, Hope suddenly realized that he may soon share the same fate as the Pulse Fal'Cie, relocation to the world below. Vanille, however, calmly accepts the situation and lends her support to this distraught boy. Unaware of his young pursuers, Snow begins exploring the arcane halls and chambers of the shrine-like vestige in search of his captive fiancée, Sarah. So my question is, why was Sarah kidnapped and brought to the vestige? That's my main question here. And then, is Sarah Snow's sister? Or not Snow's sister, that'd just be weird, but Lightning's sister. There's a lot of questions here that I'm not understanding. But you know what? I will catch everybody next time. It's a good place to end the episode. If you like the episode, feel free to give it a like. If you don't, you know what button to hit. If you want to see more, I'm going to try to post more every day. Hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Peace.